What is up, guys? Eric here from BVM Productions, here with a video regarding wrestling and wrestling technique, and also the age-old topic of big man just beats smaller guy, regardless if the guy is very well versed in fighting. So I want to explain this because I just saw another very real-world example, like a very good example of why technique is king and not just being strong. And a real-world example of this. Now, this is Tom Stoltman. This is one of the world's strongest men. He actually won the world's strongest man. He weighs, I think he said in the previous video with Tom Aspinall, which, by the way, I'm going to refer to him as Big Tom, because, guys, he looks like he's double the size of Tom Aspinall. The size difference is massive. This is huge. I've never seen a guy mog Tom Aspinall this bad. Like, this is insane. And he's not the tallest. Like, imagine Halford Bjornsson in length. The size difference would look crazy. And I think Halford is actually heavier right now than Tom here. I'm not sure. I think he said 150 to 180 kilograms. That's how much he's walking at. That is 360 pounds to 400 and something pounds. So yes, Tom here, that usually fights at 270 to 50 pounds, well, he's one of the lighter heavyweights, is much smaller. And you can see, look at the forearms, everything. But anyway, so a common argument that I often get into is that no smaller weight division MMA fighter, or even a guy well versed in wrestling / grappling in total, would be able to go with a guy that's a heavyweight, meaning 100 kilograms, 6 foot in length and up. And I always tell them that really just does depend on who has the better skills, because if the smaller guy, in this case Tom, normal Tom versus Big Tom, in this case, he's much better versed in grappling, he will win. He won't be just chucked off, because people act like Big Tom would just grab him and smash small Tom headfirst into the concrete and he would die. And let's use them as examples, because the size difference is massive here. It's a great example, actually. So if this happened in the street, and this is one guy that's trained for a few years and one guy that's never trained, but he's huge, and they get into, let's say, they start swinging, but big man misses a bit, and they start wrestling because the gap closed. Small guy would have landed more shots and wouldn't have hurt him that much because he's a big dude. On the ground, people's argument is, big man will just stand up and then proceed to smash this guy into the ground like a tombstone from The Undertaker. He will do a tombstone on him, or just bury this dude's head into the concrete. Now, in this video, Tom tells Big Tom, I'll give you 10 seconds to chuck me off. And in that moment, he uses no technique, no strength, and he still stays on top. Now, I'll show you the difference in technique using one of the best grapplers ever afterwards. But I can actually just use another example of him just in the cage actually using this wrestling, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go a step further. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because I tell people this often. You can't just throw somebody off. No matter how much bigger you are, it's really not that easy. I have actually a very good example of this with a chummy of mine, a friend. But I'm not going to use that, because people often feel that if you are not a world champion fighter, then you can't use your own stories, well, your own examples of the same situations as an example. It's not a legitimate example, which is stupid. In other sports, a guy that pops up that's new, that competes with other guys, he tells them, I did this in the gym. Then if he does it in competition as well, or better, then people slowly give him the respect, or they actually give him the time of day. With fighting, it's like people just go blindside. They're like, nah, it's not possible. Then usually I tell them, all right, let's do it. Like I tell people often, let's just do a practical. Not a fight, just do this one aspect, because the argument is big man will just lift him up and walk with him, essentially. Just like literally, he will just stand up as if a fly has perched itself on his shoulders. So, 14 minutes. Okay, so Let me show you guys.
Do your best to get up. And then we're going to switch it over. You're going to hold me for 10 seconds. I'm going to try and get up. We'll see how we go. Legs up, legs down. Whatever you feel best. We did this for Eddie Hall.
So,
it's good like the exercise because I can see
small Tom will try to pin big Tom.
Techniques, and then you can like see the improvement after. Right, mate, so we're just going to go from there.
Okay, from here is where the fun part starts.
Tell me when you're ready, Tom. Yep, ready, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, we go back because there's a key part which people cannot see.
And then we're going to switch over. You're going to hold me for 10 seconds. I'm going to try and get up. We'll see how we go. Legs up, legs down. Whatever you feel best.
Wonder if this is going to get copyright claimed.
Because I can teach you a few techniques and then
No. That's why I'm doing this, guys.
Tell me when you're ready, Tom. Yep, ready, go. 10.
Okay, cool. There. So, any guy that's well versed in grappling will instantly see where the issues are with Tom's technique. And what I mean by issues, it's not really issues, it's just he's not trying. He's not trying at all. Look at all of this space. Look at all of that space. His hands are not connected. His hips are not sank down. He's letting Big Tom, post with his leg to thrust with hip drive. He is literally not trying. He at no point in this exchange did he try. The only point where he semi-did, but actually it was just like him correcting it. It was him using 5% of the technique. 9, 8, 7. It was there. It was just stopping him from rolling that side. And he still didn't try. You can see he's not even using any muscle. Yeah, oh, look. He just went up on his feet. On the tip of his feet. That's why, so that all force just goes this way without using any technique, effort. No effort, just did that. Literally just did that. Any guy that has done grappling for more than a year will be able to do this. Will be able to replicate this. Now let's go back a tiny bit because I need to use this as an example.
Feel best. We did this for Eddie Hall. It's good like the exercise because I can teach you a few techniques and then you can like see the improvement after. Right, mate,
so then, fast forward if you guys are wondering. Okay, so you see there's a lot of space and you see instantly Tom tries to stop there. Now, okay, cool. I'm going to use one of the best grapplers ever to showcase how it would look if somebody was actually trying to get somebody down on the ground and keep them there. This was Tom not even giving 5%, and I'll wager that. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is if Tom barely tries with he didn't use muscle here, he didn't use any technique really, and he still stayed on top. And he was not just lifted up and Big Tom didn't just walk away with him and slowly prepared to bury him like a carrot. Well, yeah, you understand what I mean. He wasn't able to do that, and he's one of the he was one of the world's strongest men recently. I think he was 4th last year or something like that. I don't remember the exact placing. But point is, he is the elite of the elite in strength, and he couldn't do that with a guy so much smaller than him. Then how would welterweight, let's use a welterweight guy, that means 170 pounds or 74, 72 kilograms, a 74, 72 kilogram guy, how would a 100 kilogram guy be able to just walk with a 70 kilogram guy that knows how to fight? How? The difference in size here is about the same. I'll actually calculate it afterwards, just for fun. And the strength difference. The strength difference is astronomical here. Regardless of how strong Tom is, he's nowhere near Tom Stoltman. That's one place. This man dominates. He dominates 99% of the population on Earth. And the size difference there still didn't do that. Strength and that size difference didn't count for shit. So how and why would a 75 kilogram guy versus a 100 kilogram guy that is not a Tom Stoltman in strength be able to lift that 70 kilogram guy off like he's nothing? Please, it's retarded. It's a retarded argument. Now, let me show you guys how it looks when you really try and crush your opponent. Khabib Habib is the best example here. And I actually can use Tom's own fights when he was doing groundwork. So what I mean by that is his hands are connected on both sides. His whole body, he's crushing down on top of Conor McGregor here, lowering his center of gravity. Because if you guys can go Google physics. Physics shows that if something is elongated, as you can see with the legs, and lower to the ground, it's harder to pick up at a fulcrum point around here, or even there. It's harder to lift it up like this, like that, or the other way around, like that. It gets heavier. It's because of gravity. So right here, Khabib was using gravity to squish down here. And you can actually see he's not even using his back muscles fully. He did use it, however, a few seconds earlier. Let me show that. Because we all know Islam Makhachev has the back muscles. And you see here. Now here he just moves over because he wants to avoid being guillotined. And now here, you guys will see a sinking his weight. And look at Conor. And there's the back muscles, the back abs that we all know. It just doesn't look that way here because he's not using max power yet. I'm just going to do this because, yeah. Anyway, guys, the point is, throughout this whole fight, see there, how will big man be able to lift a guy up that's doing this? Regardless if the guy is shorter, like chop Khabib off here. There, he has stumps. He has stumps. How will he lift even that portion there? How? How will the arms be able to chuck that person just off just because of weight difference? How? You see, that's one of the reasons why I tell people, if you guys don't know how to bloody wrestle, they will not be able to do this. If they do not know how to grapple, they will not be able to do this. Any guy with a year's experience even can do that. They can clasp their hands together, cinch down their body weight. If they're smart, they're using their back here and their hips. And they will know you spread your weight. You spread your weight, and you actually stop a guy from using his legs if you try to pin him like this. If you can do that, you can keep that guy down. There's a few tricks that we grapplers know, that we can reverse the position or get out. However, as most people know, it will be quite hard for big man here to do anything. And Tom barely tried here.
10, 9, 8, 7,
See,
6,
it's not even trying.
5, 4, 3.
He literally just used spreading out the weight. At one point, he wasn't there even.
2, 1.
And check. Big man, KO. So, yeah, sorry, that argument of, oh, we will just stand up is bullshit. I hate that argument. Big men can do that if they know what they are doing. They can't do that if the other person knows what they're doing and you do not. No matter how strong you are, no matter how much bigger you are, it just doesn't work that way. So, yeah, guys, wanted to just drop this video because, yeah, it's frustrating to see.